Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru.
Humble obeisances, all glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. How are you, Mataji? Nice to have you back.
Yeah, I just got back after a long flight, so I'm not planning, even though the day is very good, the sun is bright and shiny. I've decided to be indoors and just recover from all that. So that's how I'm on.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. So today we will be reading Canto 4, Chapter 9, 37 through 47. But I'll have to leave around 5:30. I won't be able to continue reading, but I'll be able to continue hearing after 5:30. So we are now live on YouTube. So Ruchi Mataji is also with us. Hare Krishna, Ruchi Mataji. So Sridevi Mataji, if you wish, you can share the screen. I made you the host, so you can continue because you seem to be more stable than me. I have to keep moving around. So now you are the host, so you can share the screen.
Okay, I can do that. I'm on the verse actually because I pulled it up when you told me, and I will share the screen. We are on 27 to 34, you said?
37 through 47.
Sorry, 37 to
47.
Okay. I misheard what you said. 37. Here we go. Oh. It's here on the screen.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, would you like to read? I see Dhira Shanta Mataji is also on the call. Hare Krishna, Dhira Shanta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine, Dhira Shanta Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and our Gurudev.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept mine too. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. How are you all?
I am doing well by mercy of Guru and Krishna. I had a wonderful week of celebrations up in North Carolina. It was a wonderful celebration at the temple. And I was finally, after 9 months of being out in the wilderness, I was in the temple, in the association of devotees. It was completely blissful because being with devotees in a temple is a spiritual world. So I received so much mercy. I'm still floating in that ecstasy of
It's really good really good to hear, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm gonna be float one day like that too.
Oh, it was just the association of devotees, the temple, the beautiful deities, and of course the mood of God Purnima, most merciful.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, it was one.
Mahaprabhu's mercy is so beautiful. Yep. Thank you for sharing, Mataji.
Oh, I share it with great pleasure. I want everyone to experience, episodes of ecstasy just to remember what it is really like, because the rest of the time it's just so difficult.
Yep. Yes, Mataji.
So Sridevi, you can be our host if you wish today. So you can navigate and request devotees to read and.
Oh, okay. You would like me to start with the prayers and continue?
That would be nice. You can ask if somebody can read and, like,
Okay.
be the host.
Okay. Om Namo
Thank you,
Bhagavate
Mataji.
Vasudevaya. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtapraishva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, and this is entitled Dhruva Maharaj Returns Home, which is a very interesting chapter. So I missed quite a bit of it, but I'm grateful that at least today I get to hear again some Srimad Bhagavatam. And we will start with the verse. Would anybody like to read the Sanskrit and then the English translation, please?
Since I have to leave early, I can read one verse and then I can leave. I mean, leave in the sense that I will be able to only hear after that.
Oh, sure. Please, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Akarnyatmajam ayantam sam सम्पार्त्ये यथा गतं राजेन श्रद्धधा भद्रम् अभद्रस्य कुतो मम. Translation. When King Uttanapad heard that his son Dhruva was coming back home, as if coming back to life after death, he could not put his faith in this message, for he was doubtful of how it could happen. He considered himself the most wretched, and therefore he thought that it was not possible for him to attain such good fortune. Purport. Dhruv Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy, went to the forest for penance and austerity, and the king could not at all believe that a small boy of such a tender age could live in the forest. He was certain that Dhruva was dead. He was therefore he therefore could not fix his faith in the message that Dhruva Maharaj was coming back home again. For him, this message said that a dead man was coming back home, so he could not believe it. After Dhruva Maharaj's departure from home, King Uttanapad thought that he was the cause of Dhruva's leaving, and thus he considered himself the most wretched. Therefore, even though it was possible that his lost son was coming back from the kingdom of death, he thought that since he was most sinful, it was not possible for him to be so fortunate as to get back his lost son. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Would anybody like to talk some words about this beautiful purport? Dear Shanta Mataji, would you like to say something? Or Ruchi?
Mataji, you can read. I'm gonna listen, Mataji.
Okay. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Swapadantikam. So here we are hearing the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, this little boy, such a small little boy, just a tender 5-year-old boy, goes off into the forest to find God. What could be more incredible than this? And given the nature of there are wild beasts, there are wild animals, there is all kinds of insects, reptiles, scorpions, snakes, pythons, what not. Then apart from that, there are all disease-bearing insects, gnats, mosquitoes, bugs, all kinds of things, even in the water, crocodiles and piranhas and what not. That's why it's a very dangerous place. Forest is not an easy place to be in. And in olden days, great sages, after great austerities, tapasya, penances, acquired so much spiritual power that they could live fearlessly in the forest. They would have their hermitage right in the middle of the forest, and none of the wild animals would even come near because they were so powerful spiritually and they were so fearless. They say that only the animal instincts to hunt and kill are aroused when the prey is feeling fear. So here these sages, they don't feel any fear, and so they can live with the lions and snakes and pythons and everything around, without any difficulty. Just excuse me for a minute. I'll have to excuse myself from this call. Someone, this is important. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So anyone who goes into the forest, it's not a small thing. King Uttanapada did not even think that his little 5-year-old boy would ever come out alive, because who comes out alive after going into a forest, that to such a small little child, 5 years? So when he heard that he's actually coming back, he couldn't believe his eyes and ears, and the messengers, whoever said it, because how is this possible? How such a thing can happen? He did not realize that Dhruva was protected by the Lord ever since he made up his mind to seek the Lord and decided that he's going to meditate and do penance and austerities to see the Lord. That immediately Krishna in his heart understood his desire, understood his determination, and sent Muni to give all the protection, the guidance, and the instructions how to achieve his goal. So, of course, Uttanapada did not know all this, neither did he understand it. So, for him, he is looking at it through material eyes. How can a little boy who has gone into the forest come back like someone coming back from death to life? How is it possible? So, he could not bring himself to believe it. That is the purport of this verse. So, text number 38. Dhirashanta Mataji, would you like to read the verse and translation for us? Or you want me to do that?
Yes, Mataji, you could do that.
Okay. Shraddhaya Vakyam Devarsher Harshavegena Dharshitaha Vartahartati Pradhan Mahadhanam. Although he could not believe the words of the messenger, he had full faith in the word of the great sage Narad. Thus he was greatly overcome by the news, and he immediately offered the messenger a highly valuable necklace in great satisfaction. So it seems as though the great sage Narad Muni has sent that messenger. I don't know, I have to read the previous verses because I wasn't really able to attend the previous sessions. So he felt overwhelmed, it was like full of disbelief. But he knew Narad Muni. Narad Muni is Devarishi. He is the best of the sages of the demigods. So he knew what Narad Muni says, it cannot be untrue. So because he had full faith in the words of Narad Muni, he became very pleased. And in those days, the kings, being extremely wealthy, having treasuries full of gold and jewels and necklaces and pearls and amulets and armlets and bangles and waist belts and whatnot of and all kinds of valuable, jewelry, he immediately offered a valuable necklace to the messenger in great satisfaction. So this was the opulence in those days. Today when we can think of any opulence. As Guru Maharaj says, even ladies, we have few plastic bangles here and there, and some cheap, paste jewelry that is put together with some cheap stuff. This is all that's possible now because Kali Yuga is such a deteriorated age. We cannot even get the real thing. Or if it is the real thing, it is so expensive and is so extremely valuable that ordinary people cannot afford to keep it in the house even because it's such a safety issue. It's such a security issue. If you have something extremely valuable, then you have to guard it with so many security things in place because otherwise people want to steal it. So who can afford all those things? It's not possible. So therefore, even if you have something, it's too dangerous to keep it with you because your life and limb could be in danger because someone else wants it. That's why today in the world, many precious and wonderful gems they are kept under great surveillance in museums and things like that with multiple layers of security and people can't go near it. They have to see it from far distance, whatnot. This is how the real jewelry is kept. So it is a sad situation because Kali Yuga is such a deteriorated age that even precious metals, precious jewelry is extremely rare, and no ordinary man can hope to possess these things anymore now. It's just impossible. It's too much of a security risk to have it even. So text number 39 and 40. Sad Ashvam Ratham Aruya Kartaswara Parishkritam Brahmanai Kula Vriddhaischa Paryasto Matya Bandhubhi Shankadundubhi Nadena Brahma Goshena Venubhi Nishchakrama Puraturnam Atmaja Bhikshanotsukaha. Then King Uttanapad, being very eager to see the face of his lost son, mounted a chariot drawn by excellent horses and bedecked with golden filigree. Taking with him many learned brahmanas, all the elderly personalities of his family, his officers, his ministers, and his immediate friends, he immediately left the city. As he proceeded in this parade, there were auspicious sounds of conch shells, kettle drums, flutes, and the chanting of Vedic mantras to indicate all good fortune. So this is how when the king goes, it's a big parade because the king is the most exalted personality in his kingdom. He's vested with all power, authority, and so naturally where he goes, there's opulence involved. Just in this puny little planet, with one puny little nation, with one puny little president, there's a great big motorcade and this thing and that thing. So imagine an opulent king like Uttanapad, king of the whole world, what kind of opulence there would be. So when he set out, there's a great parade of all soldiers, warriors, ministers, brahmanas, all the important officers, ministers, his immediate friends, family, everyone accompanies him on an excellent chariot with horses that are decked with golden filigree. Can you imagine? Even the horses being decorated with gold. Here we can't, can't hope to decorate our wives and children with gold. It's so difficult. What to speak of horses and cows? But in those days, it was possible. So when the king sets out, there are all auspicious sounds of conch shells, kettle drums, flutes, and chanting of Vedic mantras. Sunuti suruchischasya mahishya rukmabhushite ayu arulya shibikam sardham uttamena bhi jagmatahu. But the queens of King Uttanapad, namely Suniti and Suruchi, along with his son Uttam, appeared in the procession. The queens were seated on a palanquin. Purport. After the departure of the Maharaj from the palace, the king was very afflicted. But by the kind words of Saint Narad, he was partially satisfied. He could understand the great fortune of his wife Suniti and the great misfortune of Queen Suruchi. For these facts were certainly very open in the palace. But still, when the news reached the palace that Dhruva Maharaj was returning, his mother, Suniti, out of great compassion, due to being the mother of a great Vaishnava, did not hesitate to take the other wife Suruchi and her son Uttam on the same palanquin. That was the greatness of Queen Suniti, the mother of the great Vaishnava Dhruva Maharaj. So you see how exalted this great queen is. She's not a small personality, though she was a simple woman. As we saw before, she was extremely pious and extremely devoted to the personality of Godhead, because she is the one who gave that instruction to Dhruva Maharaj that in this situation, you just take shelter of the Supreme Lord, and that will be the best thing you can do. She says this to Dhruva Maharaj, and she guides him. She's actually his Vatma Darshika Guru. She shows him the way forward. And so she's actually a very exalted personality. And you can see how exalted her character is, because this is the real wealth of a Vaishnava. The quality of his character, the good qualities that he or she has. This is the real wealth. This is the real good fortune of a Vaishnava. And there are 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. And you can see how exalted Queen Suniti is, because she's so kind-hearted, she's so giving, and she's so fixed in spiritual knowledge that she understands that all this misbehavior, everything, is just because people are overcome by the modes of material nature. She understands the real truth that everyone is actually spirit soul, and whatever we are going through is results of our own karma, both good and bad. And so she does not react again with the modes. If it was someone who was still in the modes, they would take revenge. They would say, why I should take this queen? She's the cause of the misfortune for my poor little 5-year-old boy. I'm going to just let her be, let her be here. I'm going out to meet my son and enjoy all the glory and the fame and everything. But no, she's so exalted. She says, everyone, let us all be, let us all go to greet this little hero who has conquered himself, who has become Swami. And let us honor him, all of us together. He will be benefited by doing that. And she was her co-queen, and that little boy also to get the same fortune. So this is actually the quality of a Vaishnava. A true Vaishnava simply wants the welfare of everyone. He's not interested in personal welfare. He's not interested in personal aggrandizement or even personal revenge, even though he could do it, even though he or she is in a superior position. They do not exercise that power. They use that position to uplift others, even though they could take revenge. This is a very great and instructive lesson, because which one of us has not been wronged, has not been hurt, has not been insulted, abused, let down? But Krishna will one day catapult us to a very high position if he so desires. And that time, what will Krishna expect from us? That we will behave like true Vaishnavas, that we will not take revenge, we will not run after what has been done to us. We will be compassionate and uplift others when the time comes. This is not a small thing. We have to work on forgiveness to be reaching that point. I think I'm preaching more to myself than anyone here. Anyway, text 42 and 43. Tam drishvapavanabhyas ayantam tarasathat avaruya nripastunam asaya prema vivaha parebengajam durbhyam dirghotkantha anashwasan vishvakshenangri samsparsha hatasheshagabandhanam. Upon seeing Dhruva Maharaj approaching the neighboring small forest, King Uttanapad with great haste got down from his chariot. He had been very anxious for a long time to see his Dhruva, and therefore with great love and affection he went forward to embrace his long lost boy. Breathing very heavily, the king embraced him with both arms. But Dhruva Maharaj was not the same as before. He was completely sanctified by spiritual advancement due to having been touched by the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj ki jai. So nice. Just see how blessed Dhruva Maharaj become. Dhruva Maharaj now coming out, of the forest, and King Uttanapad spies him coming out. Immediately he stops the chariot with great haste. He gets down and he runs with love and affection and great anxiety to pick up his little boy and embrace him and hold him close and reassure himself that his son is really alive and he's really here and he's really there. But what is the Dhruva Maharaj's reaction? He had so much love on the lap of his father. He wanted so much reciprocation, affection, and love and recognition from his father, and his father gave it to him when he needed it the most. He was so deeply wounded. It was like a stab in the heart, what had happened. And so Dhruva Maharaj took off going to get revenge for the terrible insult to him. And now he's getting what he was actually looking for, the love and affection of his father. But what happens to Dhruva? He's completely untouched because now it no longer has any meaning. It's just a material thing. This so-called love, affection, kissing, loving, hugging, all this, oh, I'm so anxious about you, my boy. It doesn't touch him in the least. Why? Because he's not pure and completely sanctified by the lotus feet of the Lord himself. So what material can give him satisfaction after that? Nothing. Nothing can compare with that. So he's completely detached now from all those things. And it makes no difference whether it comes or doesn't come or is there or not there. So that is why Vaishnava, who becomes more and more purified, untouched by material. If fame comes, no problem. If fame doesn't come, no problem. If insults come, no problem. If appreciation comes, no problem. Nothing can touch the person who is completely purified and detached from the material energy. And this is actually the best position to be, because this means every second we are simply worshipping the Lord, and so nothing material can have any effect on us. And this is perfection. This is the point where we are completely and purely engaged in pure devotional service, and this is this perfection of life. We want to strive and attain this goal in this very lifetime. Text 44. Mataji murmurni shitai nayanavarihi snam asatayam jatoddama manoratah. Reunion with Dhruva Maharaj fulfilled King Uttanapad's long cherished desire, and for this reason he smelled Dhruva's head again and again and bathed with torrents of very cold tears. My nature's way, when a man cries, there may be two causes. The one is in great happiness upon the fulfillment of some desires. The tears coming forth from the eyes are very cold and freezing, whereas tears in times of distress are very hot. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining the difference between the different types of tears. Okay, I did not realize now there are two more people besides Ruchi and Dhirashanta Mataji. I only see numbers, so I don't know. If you would like to read, I'm really sorry, I didn't notice this beforehand. But if you would like to read, we have 45, 46, and 47 left. I will be happy to hear someone else reading. So, is anyone likely to come forward? Dhirashanta Mataji, do you know who is on the call?
Shri Devi, this is Govardhan Leela. I'm on the call, but I'm out, and I'm doing this on my phone. So I'm sorry I won't be able to read. I'm listening.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Abhivandya Pitu Ashirbhi.
Powerball and what's the other one? A mega?
Okay. If someone else would like to read besides you, Govardhan Leela, is there anyone volunteering to read? Or should we continue? I guess we'll continue.
Just continue, Mataji.
Okay. Pitupada Ashirbhischa Nanam Mataro Shishna Satkrita Saj Jagranihi. Then Dhruva Maharaj, the foremost of all nobles, first of all offered his obeisances at the feet of his father and was honored by his father with various questions. He then bowed his head at the feet of his two mothers. Purport. He questioned why Dhruva Maharaj offered his respect not only to his mother but also to his stepmother, due to whose insults he had to leave home. The answer is that after achieving perfection by self realization and seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, Dhruva Maharaj was completely freed from all contamination of material desire. Feelings of insult or honor in this material world are never perceived by a devotee. Lord Chaitanya therefore says that one has to be humbler than the grass, and he recommends more tolerant than the tree to execute devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj therefore has in this verse been described as Saj Janagranihi, the foremost of noble men. The pure devotee is the noblest of all. He has no feelings of animosity towards anyone. Duality to animosity is a creation of this material world. There is no such thing as the spiritual world, which is the absolute reality. Wow. Just see. Just see the magnanimity of Dhruva Maharaj and just see how pure he has become. This is actually very instructive to all of us because we have a lot of work to do in this area. We feel bad, we feel insulted, we feel abused, we feel exploited, we feel hurt, disappointed, let down, that, so many things. And then what happens to our hearts? Our heart becomes very hurt and we start remembering what these people did to us, what that person said, what that person, how they behaved towards me, and how insulted, how hurt I felt, how disappointed I was, and so on and so forth. And then we harbor grudges because these people hurt us. These people made us feel very small. These people disappointed us, let us down, or did something very hurtful and very, very harmful to us. Our mental and emotional health was negatively impacted by this, and therefore it was very difficult for us to regain our equilibrium because when someone says something hurtful or does something hurtful, it's not so easy to forget that. But here, Dhruva Maharaj is showing us how we can be free of all this negativity, which actually harms us because it doesn't do anything to the other person. And it only harms us if we keep harboring the negativity. That means we have to exercise forgiveness. We have to constantly be walking in forgiveness, practicing forgiveness, and offering forgiveness freely, knowing that Krishna is supremely in control of everything and whatever is happening with his sanction. There are simply lessons for me to learn, and I have to be free of the desire for getting even, taking revenge, feeling upset, and all those things that normally happen. This is our conditioned self. But our pure spiritual self has nothing to do with all this. This dishonor, insults, infamy, this, that. This is all pertaining to the material body, material name, fame, all these things. They're all pertaining to the world of duality. They have nothing to do with the real me. The real me is pure, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and is completely untouched by anything material. So Dhruva Maharaj is showing the way. What he does, he first offers obeisances to his mother and father and honors them. And then he puts his head at the feet of both mothers. Even though Suniti was so insulting, I mean, Suruchi, sorry, and drove him out of the house of the palace practically, and drove him away by her horrible words and insulting behavior. He comes around and he offers obeisances to her also. Why? Because now he has achieved perfection. He understands everything by the mercy of the Lord. He has no material contamination left in him. So it doesn't make any difference. He simply sees them as pure spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. And so he offers obeisances. Actually, when we offer obeisances to someone, we are honoring Krishna in their heart. And when we don't do that, we are actually dishonoring Krishna in their heart. So, Lord Chaitanya, what he is recommending? Trinadapi suniche tarorya sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So we want to practice all these things so that we can get more and more purified and more situated in our real position, which is pure loving servitorship of the Lord at every moment, every second. It's not just 4 hours in the day or 3 hours in the day or 2 hours in the day or even 10 hours in the day. It's 24/7. That is our real nature. And we want to strive to reach that position of becoming completely pure and situated in our original position of loving servitorship to Krishna every moment, untouched by the material energy. So, Dhruva Maharaj is described as what? Sajjanagranihi, the foremost of noble men. So nobility is a very exalted thing, and the pure devotee is the noblest of all. He has no feelings of animosity towards anyone. Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Sochati na Kanchati Ma Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labate Para. The pure devotee situated in transcendence has no hankering, no lamentation. He views all living entities with an equal eye. He is transcendently joyful. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kanchi. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labatera. In such a state, he can come back to me to the kingdom of God. This is such an instructive verse, and it has this verse which I'm quoting is in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 55, I believe. I'll look it up later and tell you, but we can strive to reach that position by mercy of Guru and Krishna. We want to be free of all this material entanglement. We don't want to be forever caught up in the action, reaction business. We want to get out. We want to go back to Krishna. Suruchistam samuthapya padavanantam arbhakam parishvajyaha jiveti bashpagadgadaya gira. Suruchi, the younger mother of Dhruva Maharaj, seeing that the innocent boy had fallen at her feet, immediately picked him up, embraced him with her hands, and with tears of feeling, she blessed him with the words, "My dear boy, long may you live." So Suruchi is overcome by the goodness of Dhruva Maharaj, overcome by the goodness of her co-wife, queen Yeah, co-wife Suniti, and overwhelmed by the fact that Dhruva Maharaj has come back, and she picks him up and blesses him with tears, saying, "May you long live." This is a very common blessing in India. You know, they say Sada Sumangali to girls who are married, and they say Jeete Raho in Hindi, you know, when they bless children, meaning may you live long. That's the blessing. यस्य प्रसन्नो भगवान् गुणैर्मैत्र आदिभिर्हरिः तस्मै नमन्ति भूतानि निम्नम् आप इव स्वयं. One who has transcendental qualities due to friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities offer honor, just as water automatically flows down by nature. The question may be raised in this connection, why Suruchi, who was not at all favorably disposed toward Dhruva, blessed him, long may you live, which means that she also desired good fortune for him. The answer is given in this verse. Since Dhruva Maharaj was blessed by the Lord due to his transcendental qualities, everyone was bound to offer him all respects and benediction, just as water by its nature flows downward. A devotee of the Lord does not demand respect from anyone. Wherever he goes, he is honored by everyone throughout the whole world with all respect. Srinivas Acharya said that the six Goswamis of Vrindavan are respected throughout the entire universe because a devotee, having pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all emanations, automatically pleases everyone, and thus everyone offers him respect. Wow, so nice. So you see, just by staying on this path of Krishna consciousness, just by doing our best to serve Krishna and please Guru, all good fortune will ultimately come to one who is thus striving and endeavoring to worship the Lord. The devotee really doesn't desire anything except to please the Lord. He's not really looking for name, fame, position, glamour, money, media, social media presence, whatnot. That's not really the aim of any devotee who sincerely wants to serve the Lord. He wants to see his Lord glorified. He wants to see Krishna glorified. He wants to see his Guru Maharaj glorified because he knows very well that is only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna that he can even take the next breath. He can speak because gives him ability. He can see because Krishna gives him ability. He can talk because Krishna gives him ability. He can do programs because Krishna gives him ability. Any moment, any of these things can be taken away. In other words, we are simply puppets. And so, if we choose to become puppet of Krishna, that is our good fortune. That is our good fortune. And such a person who is genuinely trying to serve the Lord automatically is honored by others. Why? Because they see this person is really trying to serve the Lord. He doesn't have any personal motivation. He's not trying to get something from me. People see as devotees only in the mood of giving. We don't want anything from anyone except that they become happy. Why we tell everyone, chant this mantra, you will be happy. Take this prasadam, you will become so happy. Because devotee wants everyone to be happy. He is happy to see the unhappiness and suffering of the conditioned living entities. He is para dukkha dukhi. Only wants to offer Krishna's love to everyone. He only wants to see others come into the family. We are all one family. We are all brothers and sisters, and we want to see everyone get established who they really are, like servitors of Krishna. We don't want them to continue in the cycle of suffering. And so, such a person who is now actually fulfilling the mission of the Lord, automatically what happens? Everyone, if they are so inclined, not everyone will do that, but most people will see, at least most ordinary people will see, okay, this person has no personal motivation. He's not trying to get something out of me, which is what happens in the material world, isn't it? Even the so-called altruism, socialism, communism is that. It is actually cloaked that way, but everyone is trying to get something out of that. The socialist to say, oh, I've come to liberally distribute all this. In the end, he wants something for himself. He wants possession. He wants that power. He wants control, access to the treasury. He wants to distribute in the way he wants to. That means he will favor some people, he will not favor others. So this so-called, food distribution, altruism, socialism, social work, it's all coming under extended sense gratification. Only the devotee is above all this. He is in the mood of transcendence because this is the internal energy of Srimati Radharani, who is pure love. She is mother, and she simply wants the love to be distributed everywhere, loving and serving Krishna. So that person automatically pleases everyone, and therefore everyone offers him respect because he has no axe to grind. There's nothing personal to gain. He's not looking for anything. So he's naturally very humble, and he's offering all respect to everyone. So such a person automatically gains the favor and respects of others. So we end there. We have 2 minutes more. Mother Manjari asked me to host today's call because she's busy, and Dhira Shanta Mataji said she would like to hear. Govardhan said the same thing. So I have talked and talked and talked. I sincerely hope that I've not offended anyone by talking endlessly. And please feel free to share your thoughts and realizations before we finish.
Thank you, Mataji, for beautiful class. I think
Yes,
you didn't offend
thank you.
anybody, Mataji.
I sincerely hope so because I saw few other people on the call much later, and I realized that I did not offer them the opportunity to read because I didn't notice. So I was thinking maybe I made some offenses here.
No, Mataji, just you, me, and I think Ruchi and Leela Manjari Mataji. And
Yeah,
Govardhan Leela
actually, I
Mataji,
joined
you already asked.
on the phone.
Yeah, you already asked. You didn't
This
offend
is Leela
anybody,
Manjari.
Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Who is this person on the call? I see only a phone number.
The phone number
me.
should.
It's me,
Yeah.
Leela Manjari. Because I joined on the computer, then I switched to my phone.
Oh, okay. Got it. So we actually have 5 people on the call.
Yeah, there should be 5. When I got on, it said that there were 5 people, and I'm also on the phone. I just walked in the door. I'm ready to keel over from exhaustion. But yes, I've been listening to you, Shri Dev, and I want to thank you very much for a very beautiful class. Yes, you were saying, we need to practice this this forgiveness all the time. 24/7. It is something that takes a lot of time, but it is possible to do. And I don't think that always an exalted person is the only one who can do this, because I'm not an exalted person, and I have been practicing forgiveness no, that's not true. I didn't practice it all my life. I think that I was in anger for too many years, and it came across to other people like I was rough and I was hard and all of this. And when I came to forgiveness, which took a lot of work, because it's not just 1 or 2 people. It's just forgiving people, all of us in general, because we cannot be perfect here. We are not perfect. And so people will disappoint us. People will do things that will hurt us. Sometimes it's very unintentional. Sometimes it's intentional. But even when it's unintentional, it can hurt. And to be able to be in that what am I, the mode of, I guess it's the mode of goodness, where you're constantly forgiving. People today would consider us martyrs for that. They would, oh, what are you, a martyr? My mother used to always say that. She'd say, oh, don't be a martyr. You know, people aren't that good that, you know, that you're going to forgive everything everybody does to you. Beat me, beat me. But the reality is that we're not martyrs. We're practicing how to be better people. And this it does, I guess it does go on it is on a spiritual platform, because most people who say they're spiritual, their words have to match their actions. Words and actions have to match. And if they're just saying it just to use the words, but they don't really practice it or feel it in their heart, then you know, it's not real. And that person has to come to terms with themselves, come to terms with their blind spots, the spots about themselves they don't want to admit. And once they can do that, I know, you know, that forgiveness to me has been the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, true forgiveness.
Right.
I've forgiven so many. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm sorry. It's not just saying I'm sorry. It's changing. It's changing how we feel toward the person. Even if we don't care for the person that much, we have to ask the Lord to give us the ability to change. Because that is what I feel, that's what will bring us to that higher platform. To learn love of God, we have to learn how to love other people. We have to learn how to love ourselves. Most people are walking around today and they're miserable. And, you know, we have to practice these things in order to come to love of God.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. Very well said.
I guess that's all I wanted. Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji. And I want to thank you. I want to give others a chance to talk too.
Right. But I really appreciate this point which you said, because forgiveness is the key to moving forward. Until and unless we reach this point of complete forgiveness, we are also bound. Forgiveness sets us free at a much higher level, access much more love, access much more joy, access much more peace, because we are at peace with that. Now we no longer have any desire to take revenge or hurt them back or get even or do anything.
Or hurt ourselves, Mataji.
Yes.
We end up hurting ourselves. We harmful things to ourselves.
Right. So forgiveness actually is most benefiting for us because it sets us free. And, you know, non-forgiveness actually hurts us much more than the other person. No matter what they have done, we are ourselves over and over again by reliving the trauma or traumatic memories, or hurting ourselves with, you know, the pain of remembering that and harboring ill feelings towards that person. Actually, all those things hurt us much, much more than anything. So practicing forgiveness, learning how to forgive. Actually, Mahatma Prabhu, he does a whole series on forgiveness, and he talks about this. He talks about how hurt he was and how he pulled back from ISKCON after leaders fell down and let him down and left the yatra in shambles. He had given his life to the leader. He had given everything, and that leader couldn't control his senses and just, you know, brought everything down in ruins, and how hurt he felt, and how he decided to pull back from ISKCON and not give his everything, and how actually it hurt him to be like that, and how when he finally forgave, he was again able to come back with full enthusiasm and vigor, and just become the devotee he wanted to be. So we have work cut out for us, and I'm very thankful that you did all that hard work of forgiveness, because people like you and me who have been through so much trauma, we have a lot of work to do, because key significant people like our parents, like our immediate caregivers, did not do the things that they were supposed to do raising us. And so we grow up in a very, very dysfunctional, wounded way. And as you said, that anger and that pain will come across to others as aggression or being very hard or this or that or whatever. But other people don't know what we have gone through. Other people don't understand. They just perceive us, reacting negatively. And so we start making offenses and then spoil our devotional life. So very important to address all these things and, make peace with it. Very important. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I like I said, this is the number one quality that if without developing this quality, I can say only for myself, when I did not have this quality developed at all, it's not like I have it perfect, but when I had no clue about really how to do it, my grandmother would say, oh, forgive them, forgive them. No, I had to really go through the process of forgiveness, and it is a process. And with that in me, before that, I feel I was lost. There's no reason to walk around here. What is this place anyway? If we don't have love in our heart, there's no reason to be here. Seriously.
Right.
This is a very serious, very big issue going on here. It's very bad. So anyway, I'm done with talking. Sorry, I overspoke. I'm sorry.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear from a spiritual warrior. We want to hear more from you. We want to hear how you have done it so that we can follow in your footsteps.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Sri Devi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very nice. See, we get so much in the association of devotees. This is what we need. Association, sharing, opening our hearts in confidence. This is what I talked about also. When I went up to North Carolina, they wanted me to do a class, which they were asking, when are you coming again to do seminars for us? Because I spoke on these issues. I said, we have the 6 loving exchanges in ISKCON. We are very good at giving prasadam, taking prasadam. We are very good at giving gifts, receiving gifts. But opening our hearts in confidence and receiving confidential instructions and guidance, this is the area we need to really work on. Because this is what is going to make us true spiritual warriors as we discuss, share, learn, forgive, grow. If we are not in that fire of purification, if we are not learning, we are not growing. We are not evolving. We are not going towards the goal. So if we are stuck at some point, if there's something blocking us, we need to address that and move forward. Very nice points you have raised. Anything else? We are 7 minutes over time now. So should we end the call here, or would anyone like to say something? Okay, looks like everyone is wanting to go to the next program. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. All assembled Vaishnavis ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.